Good morning everyone and welcome back to a new day of daily updates across all of the major dollar pairs. Starting off with DXY on the daily time frame, we can see we've had that break of structuring towards the upside, and this is the current swing range that we are trading within. Now previously, whilst we had this internal trend that was intact, we were anticipating some of that prices down towards these points of liquidity where we could then look for that next upside move. However, towards the end of last week, we've seen this internal trend break from being bearish to bullish, and therefore we are expecting this weak swing high here to get taken out in the near term. And hopefully what will happen in the near future is this will just act as a point of liquidity that could fuel that next leg up in towards the upside. So what does that mean for Euro USD? We can see on the daily time frame we've had that break of structuring towards the downside. We've got our swing high and we have our swing low. Now similar to DXY, although this is a lot more choppy, we had this internal trend that was pushing price up, but we've now switched bearish with a break of the internal structure over here. And therefore it's more likely that we will take out the swing low itself rather than coming up for major points of liquidity. Especially with the geopolitics at the minute and with the escalation in Iran, it does look like we are going back to all-out war, and this will definitely put pressure on the euro against the dollar, as both the USD will act as a safe haven and the euro will also take a big hit from the oil prices. This is the 4-hour internal 4-hour swing range, and we have liquidated this point of liquidity here, which if we check on the PVD, it does match up with a 50%, and therefore it is valid to look for a potential short position after we have now broke this demand zone and the internal trend here, which has now gone from being bullish to bearish. And if we see a retracement up towards points of liquidity like these, we could then look for that next short in towards the downside to start targeting that week's swing low. If we go down again onto the 1-hour time frame, we might be able to see a slightly more refined entry. As you can see here, we've had the 1-hour break of structure in towards the downside, and therefore this is my current swing range. As you can see, we did gap up over the weekend and we are pushing up in towards the upside to begin with, but I do anticipate this, like we've made this initial connection into this supply zone, which is relatively strong because it liquidated this high, and therefore this could just initiate that sell-off in towards the downside. We have also got this point of liquidity here, which hasn't yet been taken out, but that could act as the fuel as well. So what I'm currently monitoring is if we see a break of the demand zones that are in control, which right now for me is this one. If we see a break and a close below, we could look for a potential entry. If not, I'd like to see one more drive up, take out points of liquidity, and then we can reevaluate from there.